there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we're talking TJF. You guys know why you're here. It is the gift that keeps on giving, you guys. There is more drama. There is more fallout. So the latest, remember I previously did a video about the impromptu interview that took place last night with Reynolds' business partner Sean on AT2's YouTube channel, except for there was some conflicting things that he was saying in order to defend and protect Al Reynolds, right? That was opposite of what Armon Wiggins said and was opposite of what Claudia Jordan said. So now, shout out to Conscious TV, has dropped a Zoom call that was all the way back in April, you guys, in which there was this confrontation between Claudia, Armon, and Joyce, putting everything out there on the table of who was conniving who. And you know, Sean, who said last night that Joyce is the ultimate professional and is completely, you know, has nothing to do with the mess, is very much into the mess, you guys. So we're going to listen to this because it is completely and utterly insane. And again, shout out to Conscious TV. I will link this for you guys as well, for you guys to just see the reaction. It is a recorded Zoom, and we also hear other people who are not currently on camera giving commentary as well, and it's just a mess. So let's get into it.
With you guys, but I cannot get into the back and forth, you know, this one line on this one and that one line on that one. And
that's Joyce talking.
I can't even tell you the things that I know.
I agree with you.
Same, Joyce.
I would have never brought this to your attention had there not been a three-way meeting about me and Justin's relationship, and me and Justin were completely isolated.
So out of context. And that is what is frustrating me, Armon, is that you are taking what that meeting was about out of context. Because what you are alluding to is that Claudia and Al asked to meet with me to talk about you and your relationship and why you got this job and you're having an affair with Justin. What does that sound like to you? That is just absolutely insane to me, okay? And that did not go down like that. And so...
Yes, it did. It did. And I will put my hand, I will swear on a stack of Bibles. So let me just, you know what, all this lying, I can't take it anymore. I cannot take this. Al called me the day after the Image Awards and said, we need to have a meeting with Joyce. And I found it weird because we don't really talk anymore. He wanted to have a meeting since I'm tired of the lies. And it has to all be on the table. And I wish Al was here. And I said, what? He calls me up and says he doesn't like the direction of the show. And at the time, I wasn't feeling it either, in full disclosure. And Armon, I told you this.
We already know this.
I told you I wasn't feeling it either. I felt like it was all this contention. It was this negative. And I felt the same way. So he's like, I want to have a meeting with Joyce, which I thought was weird that he wanted to include me because I know they have their relationship and they talk a lot. And then they're close. So I was like, all right, whatever, I'll be on the meeting. In the meeting, he said he felt a few things. He felt like Justin is making the show too gay, and he wanted Destiny to have a bigger role in the show and take over the topics. Did say that. Okay, so you agree with that. Then he also said, and Armon, I don't like the tone of the show, and I'm just not happy, and I don't think I can do this much longer if he's here. And I was like, wow, okay, he said that. He also said, I went out with Armon, and Armon said that him and Justin went on a date and that he's been very heavily coached for this job, including being told to join after. That is what's being said. I'm sorry, Joyce. I'm a very honest person. I'm not good at lying, and I will tell the truth. That's what was said in the meeting. We had this meeting. We did have a meeting. He did say that. I'm not even putting that on you. That's why I find it very odd that you're rushing to his defense and saying, no, shutting it down. He said it, Joyce. I'm a very credible person, and I'm not a liar. I'm not.
I agree with every single thing.
Okay, so, but he did tell you that, Joyce, and I don't know why you're denying it.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
That's the problem.
This is a mess.
So you can tell me that he said that I am making the show heavily gay.
Yeah, he
as
did.
a manager. That is
He did say that. And he said he wanted. He said he wanted Destiny to take over your role and to put her more in the position.
You didn't tell me this, Joyce.
Swear to God.
This is a mess.
Justin was making it heavily gay.
Oh. walk
You said what?
Let me walk it off.
Oh my gosh.
Felt that the show was turning heavily gay. He didn't say that Justin is making the show heavily gay.
And why would he suggest Destiny to take over?
No, he didn't say for Destiny to take over. He said maybe what Destiny can do is Destiny. Hold on 1 second.
Basically, we're saying the same thing, but you're making it more palatable. We're saying the same thing. You guys, I'm not a liar. I've never lied. I can't lie about this.
Destiny can take over doing more of the topics that, as it relates to women, as it relates to relationships. That's what he said. And I said, oh, okay. Well, that's a good idea. You know.
Have you ever told Justin this?
We'll see. I told Justin the overall theme of what our conversation was. That's
No,
what
you didn't tell me that Al said the show was becoming heavily gay. This is new to me, Joyce. I'm just really shocked.
This is a mess.
This was not told to me.
What a disaster.
Why were we not on this meeting if it was going into that much depth?
I'm not going to sit here and continue to go around.
Because they didn't think I'd ever tell you guys because we were all kept at odds for a reason. Al has been puppeteering, keeping us all fighting against each other and not getting along, having sidebar conversations, trying to get me fired to Joyce, and then having a conversation with me, Armand, to try to get you fired to Joyce and to me, and that is a fact. And as long as you and I weren't speaking, and then Justin and I were in a weird place ever since I was on College Hill, so we weren't speaking. So all of us aren't speaking like we're supposed to. But Joyce and Al are still speaking very much. And Al has been very much been creating them, been puppeteering all of us to be at odds. And then all it took was me finally have a conversation with Armand because I did not like the feeling. I was like, you know what? I love doing this show, and I want us to get along. I want to extend an olive branch to him, and I'm glad he was open to it. We spoke, and now we're good, Joyce. And that's why the show has been really good the last few days, because we're not being kept at odds. Fun fact for you, Joyce. Do you know whenever me and Armand get into it on the show, and he comes for me, Al rushes and calls Armand to tell him how much he loves the discourse on the show when he comes for me? What kind of show is that? What kind of show is that?
So that essentially, you guys, and again, shout out to Conscious TV. I will pin the link for you guys to watch it because it is a hot mess. So it's only Claudia, Armand, and Joyce that is on camera, but clearly there obviously is other people that are on the Zoom. In particular, Justin, who is completely shook and completely shocked that Al Reynolds went behind his back and said that they were making the show too gay, and all the things. And he's like, this is news to me. Nobody said anything to me. And then the move to have, somebody named Destiny that works there to be the person facilitating more topics that are geared towards women, to take that position away from Justin. And Justin is, completely shook. Like, I haven't heard any of this tomfoolery before. And, what is this, Joyce? And Joyce is basically like, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And so here is the thing. Every video I told you guys, I said if there was something wrong that Armand Wiggins has said or that Claudia Jordan has said, regardless of whose side are you on or whatever, that if in fact Al Reynolds was innocent and did not say or do any of these things, the receipts would have dropped by now and he would have came out to defend his name because he's a PhD, he's a lawyer, he cares about his reputation, right? So if somebody's maligning your name and dragging you every single which way, you would want to come and get in front of it, right? You know PR, you know how this works, right? But this whole, we're gonna sit back and potentially sue, no, that's a separate thing. This is you directly in cahoots with Joyce confirming it on this Zoom call, and this is a complete 180 from the picture that Sean presented last night to AT2, that she was this professional, that she was not in the mess, that she was the one that was trying to get everything together, and now it makes sense why Funky Dineva is now trying to break bread with Armand Wiggins. Because he's guilty too, because he was doing the same thing.
with Al Reynolds, because he even mentioned in the interview with Carlos King how much he would call Joyce and go to bat for whatever it was that he was requesting. This was something that him and Al Reynolds was doing separately behind the scenes to advocate for the people that they wanted to be on Fox Soul, and also advocate to try to get Claudia Jordan fired as well. And even Claudia Jordan exposed in this, in front of everybody, that basically Al Reynolds is the puppet master and trying to pin everybody against each other and trying to cause all this infighting. Make it make sense. But my thing is this, I think the video said it was from April 30th, you guys. So already since April at least, there have been Zoom calls like this in which you are being messy outside of the Zoom call and talking about the on-air talent without everybody's knowledge and insinuating. Even Joyce takes it to another level. Oh, Armon, you're taking it too far, trying to say that you're having a quote-unquote affair. No. What? This is the same Joyce that Sean said last night is the consummate professional, has worked at all the networks, is a 3-time Emmy Award winner. She's not in any mess with any, and he said the N-word and all these things, that she doesn't get down in the dumps with people. She doesn't get down and dirty. No. Here's the thing, you guys. Everybody has a side that they don't want you to see. And nonetheless, you can put it up and button it up in a bow, but nonetheless, this is not a good look for Al Reynolds, you guys. And it makes sense as to why Funky Dineva is protecting Al Reynolds so hard, right? I saw Al Reynolds for who he was with the whole Star Jones thing, but more importantly, with what happened with Dr. Heavenly, and Dr. Heavenly actually spoke on this a little bit earlier that I am going to react to as well, and how he did Dr. Heavenly basically confirmed that Al Reynolds complained about her and she was never allowed back on TGIF because he didn't like the fact that Dr. Heavenly was going to call out the BS. And he couldn't handle it. He has no problem dishing it out. He has no problem going to the manager to complain about other people. But the moment that it is brought to his face, it is an issue. And it's the same thing that happened after this roast. But people want to talk about, who's disappointed and who's acting immature. This is a bleep show, you guys. This is a complete and utter bleep show. Everything is so dysfunctional. This show was never going to survive. If you have to go in and day out like this and have separate Zoom calls about side conversations and side gossip, and you have to have these meetings and people like Justin are listening in on the call and they're listening like, WTF, what do you mean? How am I in it? How are you going to speak on my behalf and degrade and downgrade my position and my role with the company? And I'm just now hearing about this, and you're trying to make it seem like I was already in the know? No. And Armon is, visibly and vocally frustrated because he's like, we've already talked about this, but it's also further pissed because he's like, why are these conversations happening without me? Why is anybody gossiping about anybody's personal life? What does that have to do with the show? Can somebody make it make sense? But the moment anybody says anything about Star Jones, it's a problem, right? All of a sudden, everything has to get shut down. But it's okay for you to gossip about other people's personal life and use that as some type of tabloid fodder, and it gets to the point that it has to escalate to Joyce and basically be something to be used against somebody who literally barely just started the position. This was never going to be, anybody who took this position was never going to be in a position to succeed, you guys. Because it is clear as day that everyone has their own agenda. Everyone at Fox Soul had their own little person, whether it was an executive or producer or whomever, that they were in cahoots with, that they had, felt comfortable enough complaining about anything and everything under the sun to undermine their coworkers. And this is the energy. And then you have these confrontations, you have these Zoom calls where Joyce is trying to pretend like everything's on the up and up, and then when she gets called out, she finally confirms the things that were being said behind everybody's back. And then when it gets too hot, when the block is too hot, now you want to end the Zoom. Now you want to say, oh, we're not going to go here, we're not going to go there. But you were expecting all this messiness to be kept under wraps. You were expecting none of this to get out, and that it would just be fun, gossip about who's dating who's potentially sleeping with who, how did so-and-so get this job, and all of this. But this is so unprofessional. And to not even communicate with your staff if their roles are going to change, if something is going to be impacted with their job, not even to have a staff meeting that there was concerns about the direction of the show and if the show was becoming too quote unquote gay. Nobody knew about that. That was news to Justin, right? So this is completely and utterly insane, you guys. But this was never going to be in a position for the show to succeed. Because when you have all of these outside forces and all of this side commentary and all of this gossip going on, and like I said, everybody's trying to come after each other, everybody's trying to get each other fired. No. That's why I said Al Reynolds needed to come out to defend himself. He needed to come out and do an interview because it wasn't looking good for him. And I even saw some of you say in the comments, well, Sean said that, he's still employed with Fox and he's still doing spots at, for Fox DC as a correspondent and blah, 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 blah. So nonetheless, that means that he's innocent and he's vindicated. No. It just means that he has a better relationship with the higher ups at Fox and Foxhole than Claudia and Armon did. And they decided to choose, Al Reynolds over them because he knows where the bodies are buried. Because essentially, Joyce didn't want whatever complaints, whatever grievances Al Reynolds had that he was going to Joyce and other people behind the scenes. She wasn't expecting Claudia Jordan to put all of that out there. Joyce's MO for this particular meeting was to try to downgrade and downplay whatever it was that Al Reynolds said as it pertains to whatever took place between Armon and Justin, and whatever he did to escalate and elevate that into something that it was not. And she was hoping that she could put it all up in a bow and gaslight everybody on the call and make it seem like they were overreacting and they blew this up all out of proportion, only for her to admit in the end that all of it was facts, that all of it was true, you guys. And this is what I mean. It makes sense why Funky Dineva was protecting Al Reynolds so hard, because he allegedly was partaking in the same type of tomfoolery. And it makes sense now why all of a sudden, one of Al Reynolds' mouthpieces is going on certain platforms, going hard in the paint to drag Armon Wiggins and drag Claudia Jordan and come for their experience and come for, relationships that have fallen out or different jobs that have fallen out. But that's the same argument that we could say about Funky Dineva, and that's the same thing that we can say about Al Reynolds. The only difference is that Al Reynolds' messiness is covered up and everyone else is not. But all of them across the board still have been getting opportunities regardless, right? But this is not a good look at all. And like I said, it was so odd to me, because if somebody's maligning you, like I said, if somebody's calling you two-faced, if somebody is saying that you are the one that is complaining to the manager all the time, you're the one trying to get everyone fired, you're the one trying to do the most, and you don't come out to defend yourself, and you don't come out to say all of this isn't true, and drop receipts to refute this, oh, no. You are in the mix just as much as everyone else. You are in the thick of it just as everyone else. And now it makes sense why Funky Dineva did not want to speak on Al Reynolds. And now it makes sense as to why Funky Dineva is trying to patch things up with Armon Wiggins without having all of the facts. And now receipts are going to drop. And now more receipts are going to drop, right? Because now what's going to happen is other people are going to want to try to clear their name, right? Or other people now are going to try to walk back, whatever it is they said. And that's why I said I was never team anybody, because you could tell by Funky Dineva's interview with Carlos King that he was holding back information that he knew. Because he knew if he truly exposed what Al Reynolds really was, that of course was going to blow up his spot. And he's trying to be all corporate and professional, for this interview with Carlos King, because he's the king of YouTube and everything. So nonetheless, he's not going to say anything that's going to try to, damper his reputation or damper anything, that he's got going on. But you fail to leave out that while you're saying in the same exact interview, how much you call Joyce and say X, Y, and Z to Joyce and go to bat for certain people to Joyce and try to get other people fired via Joyce, that Joyce right here is just as much in the mess as anyone else. And this is utterly insane. This is completely utterly insane. Listen, it's not about anymore for me, and it never is. It's not about like and dislike, right? Because I always say two things can be true. People can be problematic, people can be disgusting or whatever. However, if you are telling the truth about something and there's receipts to back it up, we have to give it its validity. We have to hear all sides of the story. And the problem is there is way too many people who are messy in this whole Fox Soul situation for people to try to make certain people be a scapegoat, for people to try to make it seem as though, this is all on Armon Wiggins. No. You guys were having these types of meetings well before June when the show ended. So already there was beef. And even Funky Dineva said there was already beef and issues even, pretty much every day leading up to his last day on the show. So this was all prior to Armon getting there. The only difference was there were new rumors and new allegations to try to undermine and get Armon Wiggins fired and caught up, and it backfired. And nonetheless, fast forward to now, there's no show. There's no TGIF. And it's just embarrassing. But it is a complete 180 from the narrative that was presented last night about how much of a professional Al Reynolds is, and his reputation speaks for himself, and he doesn't see, Armon and Claudia Jordan as his peers. He's an elitist, and he would never, get down in the dumps. Well, Joyce is confirming that he did. Joyce is confirming that he was being messy behind Armon's back. And then Joyce is confirming about the back and forth that Claudia is saying and trying to have each other get fired. But while you guys are all doing that, now nobody's at TGIF. There is no show anymore. But, this is not a good look for Joyce, and this is not a good look for Al Reynolds. And like I said, more receipts are going to drop now because people are going to try to cover their behind. People are going to try to defend certain parties. But it is best right now for the people who were implicated in this video to keep it cute and keep it mute, you guys. Because it will get worse. Because I know for certain that this is not the only receipt and this is not the only recorded Zoom call that exists, you guys. And it is just a bleep show of corruption, of dysfunction, of drama, of chaos, of discord. And I don't understand why all of this is taking place for a 5-hour work week, you guys. Can you make it make sense? So there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.